Ever wonder why your editing is still even that you have bought presets for like $50, $100? Maybe you got the Malice one, maybe you got the Finza one. I'm not trying to hate on them, but in this video I'm gonna explain why it's not a good idea to buy presets. First of all, let's break down whether they save you time. And the answer is yes, of course they do, but not as much that you think. You know that you can make your own presets, and you probably won't lose that much time setting them up. Most preset packs have like 10 to 20 effects, which you can make in like 1 hour, and dropping $50 on them is kinda pointless when you can make it yourself and just save on a couple of bucks. But that's not the main point. The real reason is you're not using your own gift that God gave you, which is your own creativity. You know, when you slap the presets that you just bought, you just look like a copycat of somebody else, and that's no good. Let me actually break down why this is the case. First of all, are you solving real problems or are you just outsourcing them? What do I mean by this? Real editing is just trial and error, and if you're just using presets, then you're just outsourcing that to the presets and you're not learning anything. You're not experimenting, you're just slapping the presets on, which means that your skill won't evolve much. Your entire style will become just what is in the pack. A real editor makes decisions, but you're just applying somebody else's. Which brings me to the next point. Your editing does not stand out. Like 50 other people have bought the pack and you're just one of them, which means that there are 50 people with the same editing style, which means that you won't make much. How is that the case? Because 50 people all charge different price points. So you have one that charges the most, you have the one that charges the least. The editing is the same. But this brings a problem. By nature of things, you will need to compete with the guy with the lowest pay, which means you won't make much money. Now your editing doesn't even stand out, which causes another fucking problem, which is that the audience that watches that edit has probably already seen it before, which means that there's not the originality and they will just scroll past your edit, you know? Which brings me to another topic. So you know how every project has a different frame rate. So if you record at like 60 FPS, then the best idea is to like keep the 60 FPS from the camera. But if the packs are made for 30 FPS, guess what's gonna happen? Now that the presets are made for 30 FPS and you put them in 60 FPS, they will be double the speed because the frame rate of the presets doesn't change. Some packs, I'm not gonna lie, have different frame rates, but if you stumble upon the wrong one, then you're just cooked. Now let's get to the solution, while I still shit on the idea of buying presets. You know how real creativity comes from actually experimenting while you edit, but if you were to just slap those presets on, then you're not experimenting by extension, which means you won't learn shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. And especially if you're a beginner, you're the last person who needs to use presets. You're not building any instincts, you're not exploring anything, you're just replicating somebody else's style. Presets are somebody else's vision, and if you were to copy those presets, then you're just becoming the cheap version of that editor that you're gonna buy the presets from. And you're probably not gonna use the presets as well as him, so you're just gonna be a TMU version of that editor. People don't really wanna hire clones, they want the actual person with the actual style. Stop trying to impress people with your presets. If you stop using presets, of course, your editing skill will drop a bit because you have never actually been on your own. You've just been leashed by the editing presets, so it will take a bit of time to adjust to your own editing style. And to be honest, clients don't really want somebody who uses somebody else's presets. They want the creator itself, like I just talked about. So it will just get boring really quickly. Now, what should you do? And the answer is just don't use presets. First of all, I didn't, because I didn't know that those existed, to be honest, but I luckily made the right decision by just being stupid. I mean, looking at it back from now, it's probably a good decision, but I was just kind of dumb back then, so I ended up not using presets and creating the same thing 1,000 times. And that's how I learned to play well with the splines, and I've created my own presets. I'm not gonna sell them to you because that's just stupid. You don't really want to use my style, even though it's really f***ing good. But the point is that until you master the skill of the splines and the compositing and everything, you shouldn't create presets. And if you do, if you're just lazy as fuck, just please adjust them over time. Don't use some preset you made 6 months ago and it looks like f***ing shit, but you just want to save on time. Just stop that. So to conclude this video, if you already didn't get my point, just make your own presets if you're good enough, or if you're shit at editing, create the same thing 1,000 times and it will become worthy of making it. You know the quote from like, I don't know, Bruce Lee, I think it is? I don't fear the man who practiced 1,000 skills. I fear the man who practiced the same skill 1,000 times. And if you want to make the whole process way simpler, just check out my coaching in the description, and I'm gonna get you to the point where you can make your own presets way quicker than if you were to just raw dog it. If not, that's cool. Just watch this video next.